Hello and welcome to Apex Instant Tips, episode number 188, brought to you most Fridays at 12:05 Eastern Time. We're your hosts. I'm Anton. That's your cue, Marwa.
And I'm Marwa. Hi, Anton. How are you?
Good, thanks. How are you? Have you been on the show before?
Great, thank you. I forgot, maybe.
Today's episode will be pretty quick, and I don't even have a wisdom of the week or a joke or anything afterwards. So it's the new year. We're going to start out with a really quick one. But this one's about apex error. And Marwa, it's your tip, but I'm going to drive because we found that sometimes my screen comes across a little bit clearer. So I'm going to add my screen here. And you're going to tell me what to do. Tell me what's going on here. What are we talking about with apex error? What does it do? And I'll kick off the timer now.
Okay, thank you, Anton. Sorry. I've just said thank you, error. I'm really sorry. So apex at error, I wanted to test the apex error at error functionality. And it says that this procedure adds an error message to the error stat. Well, great. So I've created a process on my page and a submit button. If we take a look at the process, so I have a page item where I put some values inside of it and doing some insert. And I have multiple calls to apex error at error with different messages.
Okay, and I'm just going to show folks there's nothing that starts with this. So if I run this, there's no data in there right now. But if I run this, theoretically, I'll do some inserts. It looks like a couple inserts, but I'll also add some errors. That's what we have right now.
Yes. And so let's try this.
Okay.
All right. So we have 3 different text messages coming from the 3 calls to apex error at error.
Okay.
And you can take a look at the session state to see the value that's...
Oh, let me take a look at the session state. Okay. So the session state is 4 for that item. Even though I put in 1, 2, 3, 4, it's 4. And if I jump back in here, it looks like, okay, so it looks like it ran all the way to the end of this, and it did get all of the session state pushed in.
Exactly. So maybe now we can look at the table amp and check if our inserts worked.
And I'm just going to point out, I'll look there, but clearly they all ran, right? Because it got all the way to here. All of these ran. So let's see what happened. So if we run this, no data found.
So the insert did not work, yet the item got the last value from the code. So it seems like the process complete to execute. But like the commit didn't happen at the end.
So if anything gets pushed onto the stack, though, it's going to roll it back. It's not going to commit it. Okay, so that's very good to know. It's good to know that it runs everything, it continues, but it doesn't actually do anything. So it might make sense to, return somewhere and not do some existing code, because that could take extra processing that's just going to get rolled back anyway.
Exactly.
Or even if you have something in an autonomous transaction, it's actually going to run and potentially commit. So it's really important to know that within here, everything is going to run, but then it's going to get rolled back. Got it.
Right.
Okay. What else do you have for me?
I do have a second process. I wanted to see what's going to happen if there is a second process that should be executed, and it also has an apex error at error.
Okay, so let's take a look at this one. So we're going to do the same thing. We'll save that, and we'll run it again. And if this one runs, we should get an additional add error, and this item should be 20. So let's take a look. Submit again. Oh, but I didn't get that. And the session state is still just 4.
Have you refreshed the page?
I don't need to, because I submitted the page.
I think so.
I'm certain.
Okay, no,
I can refresh it. That's fine. But if I submit it again, we'll get the same
the same
deal
thing.
here. Yeah. So, and the session state will still be 4. So,
4.
And so what's that tell us about this second process?
Okay, so the second process did not make it and the insert did not happen in the table M.
Right. So anytime, so what I'm getting out of this is that this process will complete. Everything in this process will run, but it will roll back. But no subsequent process will actually run.
Yes.
Right? So it'll stop the processing right there. And in fact, we can demonstrate the same thing if we do a validation. If you do this validation and you add something onto the error stack, none of the processes will even start to run. And it's these idiosyncrasies that can kind of hang people up, because even though in this case, everything will run and autonomous transactions will complete, if you have an autonomous transaction in a subsequent process, it's not going to complete. It's not even going to kick this process off.
Exactly.
Okay, so that's our 5 minutes, but we can go over a little bit because I saw a little bit of extra code in here and a couple extra little features. So I'm going to have you hit on this last one right here that's got,
Yes.
you can see this is, most of them look like this, but this one has a couple extra things. It's got this
Yes.
and it's got this. Can you run me through those two things?
It's a good thing that add error functionality gives you the ability to precise or to select an item to be pointed, highlighted in red. Like I chose P61 dummy item, and with that we have to have the attribute display location set to that value. C in line with field and notif. And that way you can highlight the exact field. Yes, that's related to your error message. And also, yes, I will let you continue with that attribute, which is important.
Sure, and that's just if you want your application to be translatable into multiple languages. I speak English and a little bit of Spanish. Marwa speaks 10 languages fluently. She might have this application in lots of languages. If you want to be able to translate it, you're going to want to do something like this. Which brings us to another topic. We're going way over. I thought this was going to be less than 5 minutes, but we're going way over. Brings us to the other topic, that this lets you do this translation. And that's important because if you weren't using Apex Lang, you would actually get the error message that's here, right? But we're not seeing this error message at all. This error message is ignored because we're doing the Apex error, right, instead.
So it's overriding this error message, which is going to be translated. So you need that lang functionality to translate your own text when using Apex error at error.
Right, exactly. And so this begs the question for me, Marwa, why? Why would you use Apex Lang instead of, Apex error instead of just using this error message right here? What do we get out of this? Under what circumstances would we do this?
I think when you have an existing API that you want to reuse, and also you want to customize your text messages and your validations in a specific way, this gives you more options.
So that's what we have this just as an example here, but I think that's what you're getting at. You have some existing API, just as you said, and so this could return in one of an out parameter or something like this. It could return that it had failed, and you could give different messages depending on how this API behaved.
Exactly. Yes.
Okay. And then I want to make sure we give a shout out. There's another reason. I like Plumman's comment a lot here. I wish there was an Apex success. I really like that. That's a total Apex idea right there. But I want to give a shout out as well, Marwa, to another reason that you might consider doing this. And what's that?
To be doing this, like to reuse and yes.
Right. And so John Dixon published a blog post about consolidating validation logic with apex errors. And I think it's valid. I don't want to discount this. I think it's valid. I personally, I try whenever possible to capture intent in my Apex applications. I try to do as little coding as possible and instead do as much declaratively as possible. And so I actually prefer to have 20 validations spelled out in my Apex application metadata up here rather than consolidating them all into one. But John's blog post talks about consolidating them into one, but then potentially reusing that consolidation on multiple pages. And I think that can be valid as well.
Yes.
So,
I like both ways. On my side, I like really both ways. They're both valid, and you get to choose which one is more good, depend on your situation, your project, your customer, what existing APIs that you have. We have some comments.
Yeah. So I think lots of reasons to consider using Apex error, as well as a lot of reasons to use Apex_success if only it existed.
Yes.
Hey, yeah, we're getting a lot of Happy New Year's. Happy New Year as well. So Dan and yeah. So I think it's a long session today. 12 minutes. Anything else, Marwa, that people should know about this? I think there is one last thing. You want to hit this one?
Oh, the branch. Yes, so we have a branch, and it has a condition of type PLC called function body, and like that inside that code we call the add error functionality to see what's going to happen. So if we uncomment this branch and try to, please Anton, run the page.
Okay. Okay. So that one's not going to do anything because we've got these other errors, but let me comment those out really quickly.
Yes. And the branch is supposed to take us to a different page.
Right. Okay. So we got an error message. It came up here, but the key elements of this, and the documentation is a little fuzzy on this, but the documentation will tell you that anything after this last process, if you use Apex error after this last process, not a lot of things happen after the last process, but a branch does, right? If you do that, you have to have this C on error page. You can't say do it in the notifications. So in the other ones, we've been saying put it in the notification, inline in notification. In here, you have to do it on the error page. The funny thing, though, is it doesn't actually show on the error page. It shows in the notification.
Yes.
Because this is the notification region right here, right?
It's not the error page.
Not the error page. In error page, it's a whole new page that would actually say this, and it would be, people have probably seen it, but it's pretty funny that you have to say, because if we do the other, if we use the inline in notification, it ignores it altogether and it just does the branch, right? But
exactly.
So I don't know. So I guess that's going to be our silly after tip. So I guess that's finally it. I think we've covered everything. It's even a short tip sometimes turns into a long one. But thanks everyone for sticking it out today. All those things. If you like the show, and we will see you next week. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.